Hello everybody, welcome back to C&S Corvettes in Sarasota, Florida. This is Lyle, and I am here to talk to you today about something that I find very interesting, particularly GM's special editions of the Corvettes. Okay, sorry, before we get started, guys, please take a moment to like and subscribe to our channel down here, right down here, because that's what allows me to keep doing what I do for you guys. I'm really pushing to get to 20,000 here in the next 30 days or so, and we're doing really well. If you find my information valuable, if you think I'm pretty, whatever, please hit like and subscribe so that we can get to my goal, and that's going to allow me to do even more stuff and start doing some videos, including cars maybe off-site, expand the channel a bit. The further I get, with your help, the further I'll be able to take you. So thank you in advance, and let's get back to the material. Now, they started with their first special edition with the pace car in 1978, and they've done a boatload of them since. And I'm going to talk to you today about some of the cars that GM made that are special. Today we're going to talk about the C4 special editions right now, some of which you're going to be very familiar with, some of which you may have never even heard of. But we're going to get started with that right now. The first special edition C4 that was introduced was called the Malcolm Connor edition in 1986. And you're probably saying to yourself, man, I've been a Corvette guy forever. I've never heard of that. Well, you'd be right. Most people haven't. They only made 50 of them. They were a two-tone silver beige over black car, and that car was made to honor the founder of Malcolm Connor Chevrolet in New Jersey, who was at the time like the biggest Corvette dealer in the country. So 50 of those produced, coupes only, silver over beige. If you ever see one, it'll be a rare day, but they do exist. Also in 1986, the Chevrolet Corvette convertible, which of course was the first convertible since 1975 in the Corvette lineup, was selected to be the pace car for the Indianapolis 500 race. So in theory and in practice, all 1986 convertibles are Indy pace cars. Every one of them came with the decal package. Every one of them came with a little plaque on the AC control face saying Indianapolis pace car. So there were actually 7,315 1986 convertibles produced. The actual pace car was yellow, and there were 732 yellow convertible pace cars produced. So basically any 86 convertible is a pace car, but the true pace cars, if you want to get technical, were yellow because that's what the real pace car was. Moving on to 1988, we had the 35th anniversary car. That was a coupe-only white on white special edition. We are talking white paint on the exterior, white paint on the wheels, white seats, white door panels, even a white steering wheel. That is a lot of white. And I've seen many of these cars at the shop over the years. Keeping them clean is a nightmare, but when they are clean, they are brilliant. They actually had numbered plaques on the shifter plate, special logos all around at the front, the rear, on the fenders. It was more than just a paint option because of how much care they put into the special emblems and the individually numbered stuff. Really cool car, but good Lord, keeping it clean is a nightmare. 1993, we had the 40th anniversary. Now, here's one of the things I want to talk to you guys about, because every car made in 1993 had the 40th logo embroidered on the headrest of every seat. No matter what color the car was, coupe or convertible, it said 40th. So oftentimes you see these cars for sale online, 40th anniversary 1993 Corvette for sale. But unless they are ruby red outside over ruby red inside, they are not the special 40th anniversary edition. Now, that ruby red car, they made 6,749 of them. They were available in coupe or convertible, and even the convertible top on the convertibles was ruby red. The centers of the wheels were ruby red. In my opinion, one of the most handsome cars GM ever made. In fact, if you look over my left shoulder, I've got one sitting in the showroom right now, 40th anniversary coupe. Those cars were very beautiful. They've maintained their value very well for a C4, and they're kind of timeless. It's not a color that people look at and go, oh, that's dated. it's still a very lovely color, especially when it's well maintained and the metallic can still shine through in the paint. It's also important to note that this is the only time that they made a special edition ZR1, also in the ruby red configuration. Otherwise, ZR1s were just ZR1s. So if you want a truly special ZR1, 93 40th Anniversary Edition is one of the most rare cars you can get. Moving on to 1995, we had another Indianapolis pace car. They made 527 of these. They were dark purple on top and white on bottom, two-tone paint, with custom embroidery inside. They also featured the 5-spoke ZR1 style wheels that were introduced on the ZR1 in 1994. You're going to see a pattern over the next couple of years that I'm talking about here. Special editions got the cool 5-spoke ZR1 wheels. We'll get into that in a second. There were custom decals that came on the car. Again, only 527 ever made. It is a very rare car. There wasn't anything special about it in as much as engine power or drivetrain or suspension. It was basically a paint and appearance package, but they only made a handful of them. In 1996, the last year of the C4, we had count them, two special editions. The first one was called the Collector Edition, and that was available in both coupe and convertible, and it was painted Sebring silver with Sebring silver 5-spoke ZR1 wheels. See, special edition ZR1 wheels. And it had, you could get a black, gray, or my favorite, a torch red interior with that car. It was available with both the LT1 and the LT4 engine, although the LT4, as in all 1996 Corvettes, was only available with the manual transmission. That moves us on to the big boy, the one that everybody loves, the 1996 Grand Sport. Admiral blue with a big white stripe down the middle, black 5-spoke ZR1 wheels again, and you could get black or red interior with that car. Both coupe and convertible. Convertibles had a white top, and they only made 1,000 of these cars. There were 810 coupes and 190 convertibles. The coupes were further differentiated because they actually had the true ZR1 11-inch wide rims with the 315/35 ZR17 tires on the back. And the way that they made that look not ridiculous was, if you look at the rear quarter of a Grand Sport coupe, they actually had auxiliary fender flares on the bodywork, which is a cool touch, and it really ties the car together. One of the things that can be confusing, all Grand Sports were LT4 6-speeds. All Grand Sports were LT4 6-speeds. What makes it confusing is every car with an LT4 engine, be it a Grand Sport, a Collector Edition, or just a regular red coupe, had on the throttle body plate right at the front of the engine a plate that said Grand Sport. So we go right back to that problem with like the 40th logo in the headrest where people say, oh, it's a 40th Anniversary Edition. Just like that, people are selling non-Grand Sport LT4 6-speed cars that have the Grand Sport plate on the throttle body as Grand Sports. Please, please, please understand, the only Grand Sports that were ever made were blue with a white stripe down the middle and 2 red hash marks on the left-hand fender. I'll do an entire video about why those hash marks are there and how they've been pervaded throughout Corvette history. That'll be a different video. But only the real Grand Sports were blue with white. Any 6-speed LT4 from 1996 had a Grand Sport plate on the engine. That does not, however, make it a Grand Sport. So, I'm sure that my editor has gone ahead and put up the pictures as I've talked about the cars. If you have questions about these particular cars, if you own any of these particular cars, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at Lyle at CorvettePartsCenter.com, and just make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can, and I'll be back with more special editions from the C3, the C5, and the C6. Talk to you soon.